You know, I'm beginning to think that this is more for you than it is for me. This narrator seems to have an ego about him. This need to have me live out what he's constructed.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Maybe I'll be a good little drone this time. See what he's so eager to show me.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
Everyone is unique, you most of all. What do people want? Graphs about things and money. Yeah, I think that's what people want.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Or maybe he wanted to admire the brooms.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet. No reason to still be here.
Stanley became comfortable.
It was baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
It's actually baffling that you won't let me pretend the broom is a lightsaber.
Are you really still in the broom closet? Standing around doing nothing?
Yeah.
Why? Please offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Because sometimes you should take joy in the small things.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right? If I'd said Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever. I never would have thought to mention it.
Look, for once my coworkers aren't around to judge me, this is how I'm using the time.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friends, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending?
XD.
The broom closet ending was my favorite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
You said earlier I didn't have any friends.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid. He probably only got the job because of a family connection. That's how stupid he is.
Oh, I wish.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's more like Malamars and Coke.
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about to leave because there's nothing here when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard. Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose. Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I like how the important part is that somebody drags off my corpse so that another person can finish the game for me. Because Stanley's Parable must be played.
Ah, second player. It's good to have you on board. I guarantee coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Okay, I went upstairs to my boss's office. Presumably to be cringe and ask for a raise. Actually, I wanted to check out his bathroom. Because the boss knows that what the boss says goes, if the bosses suffered losses, then that's what the bosses chose. I guess Dr. Seuss was the last one in here. What's also likely is that the message of that rhyme would be lost on any boss. Because at the sight of any loss, the boss would be cross with his employees. That is some insightful art. An elevator. Let's go up. I sure hope this is what he wanted me to do, because I've done it. What am I, in Dr. Breen's tower? This thing is still going. This ride is long. Wow, I got trolled.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, Unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this, what dark secret was being held from him. What he could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And so the boss had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845. But of course, Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
Just like my boss to have the good Chianti in his office, but the boxed punch in the break room. Let's see, 2845 is my completely random guess.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his... Yet incredibly,
Excuse
by
me?
simply pushing random buttons on the keypad, Stanley happened to input the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
Is this where they send employees after asking for a raise? I don't usually see them in the cubicles again.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
You know, mind control sounds good. Bulb button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
This is just the employee training room. To streamline the training further, they usually play everything from each screen at the same time, and you just gotta remember all of it.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
Wait, so then, if you created this whole story, then didn't you create this eternal prison?
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I mean, that's just the workforce, though, isn't it?
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Oh, so you're trying to turn me into Batman. Maybe I like this life. It gives me purpose, it gives me shelter, I don't really have to think too hard about anything, and I can always push buttons on a screen. Maybe I don't want to give that up.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you?
I sure did.
After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you want?
Wait.
Control?
I think you're presuming things.
Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do. You were supposed to let it go, turn the controls off, and leave. If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that.
Actually, I've done that
I'm afraid
before.
you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Oh, you're just using
In the
admin
event that
powers
this
now.
machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode. eliminating the entire complex. How long until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley?
Maybe.
It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape it to your heart's
Actually,
desires.
I'm gonna just go.
Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But what precious moments each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me, where we're going. What all this means. I barely know where to start.
I don't know, you seem kind of happy
What's
indulging
that?
yourself.
You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I
Erased?
turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone.
Oh,
Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp.
wow.
I have to say this, though. This version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you, it's quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock, why not?
Oh, thanks, man.
These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Yeah, pretty
Or
much.
did you just assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off? I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones. Or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
No. Wow, you're quite Machiavellian.
Stanley, you're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble.
I'm sensing some projection
This
in
is
this
not a
monologue.
challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't.
I'm not exactly sure there is a
Take a
way
look
to
at
open the
clock,
door.
Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle. 30 seconds until a big boom and then nothing. No ending here, just you being blown to pieces. Will you cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we
3,
fade in
2,
until the moment I
1.
say, happily ever
Happy New... Wow, so that really was how that went. Dude, this narrator is like an egomaniac. So I think I get it now. Ever since Grand Tour ended, and the Farm Life show wasn't really enough for Jeremy Clarkson, he embedded himself into a video game where he exerts endless control over this one NPC from Half-Life, and constructs narratives for him to follow in order to give himself purpose. Honestly, how could you blame the guy? They were great shows. I'd probably do the same thing.
All of his co-workers were gone.
New content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
I don't know, you tell me. Now I kind of really wonder if I could have stopped the bomb from going off. Or if I really was meant to sit there and listen to him narrate his villain arc. The one at my job isn't nearly this nice.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game released in 2013 on home computers. After After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Pretty.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over.
The world? There's a world here?
Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
It just leads to a room with a box that says content.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
I don't know whether to believe that or not.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere or... Oh, there we go. All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it. I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious. It's as if Oh, okay. Let's see the content. Give me the content, Stanley.
Wow, Jeremy's really excited.
All right, let's see. It's the jump circle?
Did they add jumping? They did! Amazing. Wonderful. Absolutely phenomenal. This is 10 out of 10. You see, Jeremy, this is exactly what your story needed for me to give it a 5. See, in 2022, they got it. What? My jumps really were limited.
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right? Goodness, another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content? If this is new content, then I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could count to 30 trillion.
Please don't actually do that.
The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh, wait. There's more.
Keep facing the wrong way.
Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.